I look good and it's comfortable.
You look good and you're comfortable?
That's a win-win. I like
Ooh. Good morning. Side side. Good morning. You want to do it? Okay. Ooh, excuse me.
Watch it.
Let me see it. No, let me hold this now. Welcome to the pumpkin patch.
No, the pumpkin's image, Mom.
I guess there goes the parking for strollers. But I'm not parking my stroller.
Because you have
Not carrying all these kids. Oh my goodness, but it is kind of hard. So let's go look for the homeschool group. Okay, I'm gonna let you get down.
Let her get down?
Sure.
How do I get this thing? You're free! Nope, not quite. Can't you like flip this?
No, no. Hold this.
Hallelujah. You have the Mystic Pie Pumpkin. I'm just giving her all the pumpkins. The Mari D. Shikogi Squash, the Cheddar Pumpkin, the Ritz Pumpkin, the Jack-o'-lantern Pumpkin, even though there's no Jack-o'-lanterns. You got the Cockeye Pumpkin. You got the Pumpkimon Pumpkin. You got the Vasco Pumpkin. And you got One Too Many Pumpkin. And then you got the Mini White Pumpkin. You got the Speckled Hound Squash. You got the Racer Pumpkin, the World of Color Pumpkin. You got the Cinderella Pumpkin, the Knucklehead Pumpkin, the Chucky Pie Pumpkin, the Fairy Tale Pumpkin, the Mini Orange Pumpkin, the Apples Long Squash. So you got the Wolf Pumpkin, the White Pie Pumpkin, the Turk Turban Squash. You got the Butter Squash. You got the Long Neck Squash.
Sitting in traffic, might as well do a homeschool update. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am on my way just running some errands today, but I wanted to pop on in and just give you a quick update as far as, or in terms of where we are in our homeschool journey. So I want to say this is day number 90 something. So we started in July, August, September, October, November. So this is, okay, we're like 4 months in. So we're 4 months into the school year, but we have not homeschooled for an entire 4 months. I want to say we are maybe 96, 97 days in for the 2019-2020 school year. All is going as good as it's going to get. We had some bump in the roads. I had to change up our routine / schedule based on my son's request. I had to also slow down on the math. My son was having kind of sorta a difficult time in recalling how to work on integers when you are subtracting. You know, remembering to change the sign from subtraction to addition, or change the operation from subtraction to addition, and then change the sign and remember the rules. So instead of having him remember rules for integers, the light bulb clicked and I was like, let's think about money. When doing integers, which is working with positive and negative numbers within the same operation, think of money. So if you have -4, plus -3, think of it as I owe $4 to my mother. I also owe $3 to my father. How much money do I have left? Well, I still owe $7. So in having him say the problems to himself or internally as if it was money, it clicked. The concept clicked. So finally we're moving on from that. And we are going into some other pre-algebra concepts. And even though, we're a little behind, and I don't like to say the word behind, because when you're homeschooling, you don't want to ever feel like you're behind, because although you have a schedule or a plan of action, or you have something written down that kind of walks you through how long it should take you to do certain concepts, and you should know how long it may take you to finish a certain concept, you can always catch back up. So in chapter 3 in our math, which is, like I said, bringing in variables and isolating variables to find answers, 1 and 2 variables within the same operation, something he's done before, I think we're going to get through that pretty quick. So we'll catch up over time. For our writing, he is currently taking a creative writing class, a virtual online creative writing class. He is loving this class. So that is going great. I had a parent-teacher conference with the teacher. She's actually a college professor, but she teaches middle school and high school students the art of writing. So my son loves it. I had a conference with her, and she wants to give him an opportunity to expand his thinking and writing. So she's going to give him additional assignments outside of class. So I told her I was okay with that because he's okay with that. And next year, when I put him back into her course, instead of allowing him to take the creative writing course again, but at a different level, she says he is just fine with that area. She wants to push him to publish. So he's going to be in a publishing class. And the goal is after a year, he should have something available to publish. So he's super excited about that. Also for writing, we are doing writing and rhetoric. We finished book 1. We're going into book 2 for writing and rhetoric. Book 1 was very easy. It was all about fables, writing your fables, writing stories, outlines, amplification, understanding the concept of elocution. So that was pretty easy. He totally enjoyed that. Some chapters I did skip because it was a little repetitive, only because my son is 11 years old and a lot of the concepts he has gone over in his creative writing class, and we've done a little bit of that during his 5th grade year. So I did not want to pound the same concept on his head, so we skipped a few chapters dealing with amplification and summary. So book 2, super excited about that. In terms of ELAR for our Shirley method, we are still on chapter 2. And the only reason why we're on chapter 2 is because he's done, sentence pattern 1. I think he's mastered sentence pattern 1, sentence pattern 2, sentence pattern 3 from last year. So I'm thinking just skipping through the next few chapters only because it's so repetitive and we've mastered that and he's mastered that. But the area that I want him to focus on in our Shirley method, hence why we're still on chapter 2. And at this point, I want to say we should be on chapter 3. Remember, the book that I'm using it throughout middle school. So I'm using it from the 6th through the 8th grade year. So there's no need for us to rush. We'll cycle through that book more than likely 2 times over the course of middle school, just to solidify those English language arts and grammar terms. And again, I apologize if I'm not looking directly at the camera. I'm driving, and as you guys know, this is the time where I find a little bit of free time where I can spend some time with you all and just chat a little bit. So what I want to focus on in terms of grammar for him is editing, giving him paragraphs, giving him stories, and allowing him to edit those things, finding errors. Those are the places that I think he's having a little bit of an issue. The terms in regards to grammar, he's got that. He can classify sentences. We don't really diagram sentences within our homeschool. I like to classify. It's easier, it makes more sense. But I did decide to throw in a little bit of diagramming just to see if he can do it. And he had a little bit of an issue in the beginning understanding it. So what I did for him, we have a sentence. He writes it out for sentence dictation. And then I would have him classify that sentence and then diagram the sentence. But again, we don't really diagram. I just had him do it only because one of the assignments that he had to do in one of the books was to diagram, and he wasn't familiar, and he said he really didn't like it. He prefers to stick with the classifying sentences, but that's where I want to work on for him. For that, I do something called money work when we are editing, where I would give him about 10 cents for every error that he can find in the sentence. Errors can range from punctuation, sentence structure, grammar. I have him identify homophones as an example, apostrophes, all that stuff. So I would give him a paragraph, maybe 300 words maybe, and then he'll have to find all the errors. And that takes him a little bit to do. He's not comfortable with it, but I told him it's really important because in his writing class, when he is writing, although he has a creative mind, great stories, great detail, when he has to write out those stories, he has a lot of errors in the editing phase. So I want to focus on that right now for our English language arts grammar portion, and see where we go from that, or see where we go from there. For our science, we are on chapter 3, the muscular system within Apologia. We are about a chapter behind on that, but hey, I scheduled that for 14 months because I knew with science and for math, it just depends on the concept. It depends on interest. For science, he was truly interested in the first 2 chapters. We did like the majority of all the projects, so that kept us behind a little bit, but I'm a-okay with that. I'm not in a rush. More than likely, we'll finish what we want to finish for his 6th grade year. We'll probably finish that, I would say, about August of his 7th grade year. Let me see. For social studies, we are on Ponce de Leon. We are completely behind, guys, in terms of what I've scheduled out for social studies. Now, for the literature, for the books that he was supposed to read, we are way ahead. Okay, he enjoys the books. He likes the books. So a lot of the literature that I have, well, all the literature that I have for his social studies are directly related to what we're reading, or what we're learning about in, world history, U.S. history, stuff like that. So we're past where we need to be for the books, but for the actual concepts, we're a bit behind, or a lot behind. We should be on the Salem witch trials right now. We are on Ponce de Leon. Okay, so that's a very big gap. We're still on Ponce de Leon. So, and that's only because he is truly engaged. He wanted to stay on Native Americans for a while because he found it fascinating, and we had a discussion of how Native Americans, populated North America and South America. But when we're talking about North America, there were millions of them here, and how millions then turns into 1% of the population now. How does that happen? So, we had real discussion on that. I'm laying my edges, guys, right now. When you see me have, this little scarf on my head while I'm driving somewhere, that means I'm laying my edges. So that's what I'm doing, laying those edges. So yeah. So for history, we way behind. For African history, we're way behind. For African American history, which is part of our U.S. history, we're behind. But hey, we'll catch up sometime. But that's the beauty of it. That's why for social studies, I mentioned that what we're going to learn will take 3 years, because we're going to, if we can, which I don't think we are, cycling through it more than once in middle school. I want to take our time and hit on areas that he's interested in, bring some current events, have lots of discussion, analyze situations, and not just pass over critical events or pass over things he may be interested in. So we're just taking our time through that. We have 3 years to get to it. I wanted to end with Civil War this year. I don't think we're going to get to the Civil War in his 6th grade year, but we'll probably begin his 7th grade year with 1863, something like that. But at least my goal is to get to 1862 within the 6th grade year. That's my hope. Geography, easy peasy, all good on that. But yeah, so I just wanted to give you guys a brief update as far as where we are in our journey this year thus far. It is November 2019. For the spring semester, our elective is going to be personal finance, which is going to happen every single semester throughout, middle school. At least one semester. Oops, someone's calling me, sorry. At least one semester per year throughout middle school. And right now we're also doing logic. Logic is going to be year round. And personal finance may be year round too. I'm not sure. I know right now for personal finance, what we do, I'll do a separate video on that. I'll show you how we do our personal finance right now. And then in the spring semester, our personal finance is more of a course. I do it more like a class, but right now it's more of learning through real life examples, creating a budget, looking at our budget, balancing the budget, going grocery shopping, looking at his income based on the jobs or chores that he has within our home, giving him a statement, allowing him to withdraw from the bank. That's what we do year round. But again, in the fall, I'll focus on like real class information, watching videos, walking through concepts, making it more conceptual so that he'll have a background of those types of concepts. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate your subscription, your likes, your shares. Participate. Let me know where you are in your homeschool journey. Give me an update on what you find to be some of the obstacles that you're having thus far. and also share some of the successes that you've had thus far. Depending on when you started your school year, we are right there in the cusp of getting through the first semester. That will happen sometime in December. And here with the holidays coming up, if you celebrate them in November and December, are you taking a break? Are you going to continue to homeschool through those holidays? Let me know. Participate in the comments below. But all right, guys, as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to share and like this video, and you make it a great day. Bye.